Hello, hello, and welcome back once again. This is the Mystic Syndicate, and I am Brian, your host. And this evening we are hanging out with Glenn, who also plays Timble Snivenblaven, our resident artist from the Princess of Celene homebrew campaign, which shows up here on this channel every week now, it seems to be.
Yeah, and I'm fine with the schedule. Let's go.
Yeah, at first I was kind of thinking it was only going to be a twice a month sort of thing, but now it just can't wait. So
Become its own beast.
I'm happy with it. It's all good. So welcome everyone. For those people who are watching later, thanks again for tuning in and checking us out. We are going into I think it's like our fourth or third or fourth
I think
interview. I
yep.
think it's fourth. I think this is the fourth one because I think we did. Let's see, we did Ed, Russ, Melinda. Yep, you're fourth. Yeah.
Yep.
So once we get done with this one, I think we only have two more people to pull from, and then
Until we get to interview you.
I was wondering if that was something that if you guys were even interested in even trying. I would be happy to, of course, host it on the channel, make it look pretty, I guess.
Oh,
Um,
I'm sure Ed would happily jump out there and do so.
Probably. I could definitely see that. Or it would be even fun as if like just a bunch of you guys just came on and just like, hey, let's badger the DM. Why not? All
Yeah, of
right.
course.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come on this evening and chat with me. It does mean a lot, and I think it really helps people who are watching the stream get to know the players a little bit better, find out a little bit about backgrounds, and it's just a lot of fun. And that was another thing I was talking with both the others that I interviewed was that I didn't really get a chance to know the players personally. I know you as your characters. I didn't really know you like the way that Ed knows you. Of course, you have a lot of history with him and Russ and those guys, which is wonderful. Uh, but I think what's really interesting is so many shared experiences that we all
Mhm.
have. Being that we're older folks,
Sure.
and we're also ex-military, which it does lend to some camaraderie and memories and wonderful things like that.
It was that September 14th of 88 replacement battalion being sent down to um, our unit in First Armor Division, and I got on the bus and he was on, I think, the right side. I was on the back side in the back seat, and we started talking from there and have been, buddies ever since.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's
that is pretty cool. Yeah.
growing up in southern Missouri, and he grew up in kind of south central Indiana. Very similar lives, really, in
Oh
that
yeah.
aspect.
Oh yeah, I would definitely think
We
so.
really bonded.
It's pretty wild. All right, so let's get to the questions.
Sure.
So, how long have you been into tabletop gaming? When did you get your start?
Um, I was always kind of getting up early and wanted to get out of the house. So, uh, Reed Junior High in Springfield, Missouri was 6 blocks away. So I was pretty much there when the custodian showed up to unlock the building. And there was a couple of us. I don't know. I think we had about 6 guys, and we sat right outside of the library doors. And one of the guys had, that red box. And we just started talking and looking at it and reading and sharing. And um, I don't think any of us went and bought anything. He had the dice, he had the box. We just wrote out our characters and just kind of fumbled around with it. But it well, clearly it hooks people because we're all here. And I think that damn box is pretty much the the beginning of it for us all. Um, but from there, I played off and on, just not a lot until I got to living with my mother in Columbia, Missouri, and family friends. Um, One of them uh, liked to DM. I had my uncle, who's 2 years younger than I am. He's like a brother to me. We lived next to each other even, and so we all went over. There was four, sometimes five, when a few other people kind of cycled in. Um, Brian, who our DM was, he was a year ahead of me in high school and going to the University of Missouri right there in Columbia. So he was going through school and really like spring break and summer break and all of that. We would have people cycling in, playing. It was a good enough game that we did have one guy who drove in every weekend from the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana and drove in all the time to play. And we just literally, I had no life outside of playing D&D, and it was all homebrew. So you guys are talking about Greyhawk, and I'm like, well, I don't know much about it. I'm learning, but yeah, it's been one of those things that off and on, I've just played a lot of different stuff. We did things very differently than other people, so it was enjoyable. It's one of the magical things about D&D is, of course, DMs really make the rules. The rules are guidelines in the dungeon manual, and we really stretched them. We had a lot of fun. I can remember an adventure where I had a doorknob to hell. I opened it up, and there was a balloon floating through all of the planes of hell. The door popped us up right into there, and we could go back and forth. I've had mummified dead mouse that glows that you shake it at something, and then it acts like a wand of wonder. It's just little silly stuff and changing things up the flavor and that out of the box thinking is why I'm such a pain in the ass for DMs because I just want to do something wacky.
Understandable. All right, that's pretty good. So, so what would you say? Well, you had stated that primarily you'd been a homegrown sort of
Mm-hmm.
gamer, so probably this might not really apply. Is what would you consider your favorite game system?
For
Um,
D&D, my favorite game system would be probably the Warhammer fantasy tabletop. I absolutely love that with the careers going down through all of that and that skill base. Oh, it's a beautiful game. And who didn't want to roll a die six to see which direction the head went when you chopped it off?
right.
I mean, that's probably my favorite. Um, Also, Vampire the Masquerade, early '90s. I got hooked into that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that system. Love the kind of flavor. I'm a big fan of vampires. I like vampire stuff. I like vampire shows. I even like sparkly vampires. I mean, you know, guilty pleasure. I do like the movies. So, but yeah, it's fun. But D&D, it hits right in there too. It's
Right.
like the three systems. Yeah, somebody brought those up. You want to play? I'm like, oh hell yeah.
That's cool. So, as far as fantasy worlds go, this might also harken back to the whole thing being that you didn't really experience a lot of fantasy, the specific fantasy worlds. Is there any one that just kind of grabs you?
I did purchase uh, the Vampire D&D uh, world.
Oh,
God,
Ravenloft.
yes, Ravenloft. They
Yeah,
expanded that so much. I bought that first little module and proceeded to fumble my way through trying to DM once. It sucked for me. I don't know if anyone liked it, but they kept coming back. But it really again, vampires sucks me in.
totally understand. That's always one thing that I've told people. It's that if if the players are having a good time, but the DM isn't having a good time, something needs to change.
I was
and
just trying to
and
keep
and
track of too many things.
yeah, and vice versa too. I mean, it's like, if the players are not having fun,
No,
then there's a problem. Something
they'll
has
just
to
be getting up.
change.
They will let you know.
That's the beautiful thing about it, is because if the
Mm,
players are having a good time, but the DM isn't, the DM is just suffering through, like, not looking.
mhm.
And I recently had that same situation occur. I have a local game, and I had been playing. This had been an adventure that started in October of 22,
Oh, yeah.
and I finally put it to bed 2 weeks ago. And I was so happy when I walked out.
Mhm.
Um, I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm done. I just can't go on any further. And and the players totally understood too. They were like, well, it's like, wow, we've been doing this for over a year and a half, and we were kind of wondering when it was gonna, get kind of. And I went,
Play out.
well, I was looking for the right, the story just couldn't, it just didn't lend itself to a finish. And
Mhm.
finally I found it. I was like, oh, there it is. The finale. Um, but that's how it works. Alrighty. So what do you think has been the worst thing that has happened in our game so far? I love this
I think you
question.
know. I think you really know. There's two things, and I'm a dryad comes to mind. I really don't like what happened there and how it's an ongoing, invasive kick in the nuts. Really, it's oh I that. But becoming the High Chancellor Abyssal. I mean, tying me to that yoke. That has hurt because really, like Russ, I quite often want to just go off and knock on doors and start some trouble. It's just go look, do something. That's my own choice as opposed to I've got to do this. I'm bound by this. I put my word here. I did this, and you got to think your way through all of those. Holy, poor Timble. He
It's
just he's pulled in every direction.
just saddled with responsibility that he did not want, was not
Oh no, no,
expecting.
no. He
Totally.
really expected to be behind the scenes, providing information, letting somebody else take the big hits, not standing out there in the open going, "Yep, I did that. Fire away."
Okay. So, what do you think has been the funniest thing that has happened in the game so far? The thing that actually had you chuckling?
Old 97, Ed's roll, that whole thing, that was, I thought, just a peach. It was so good. Really enjoyed that whole thing. Just the whole sequence of the bar, everything, and just how we got there. I thought it just was fun, and it's the kind of thing that an Ed tangent goes someplace, and we start doing something, we start mucking up, and now we basically own a city, a town. We'll build it up.
Right, right. Okay. So, who would you say is your favorite character teammate?
Well, it's kind of funny. Everybody says Kiffy, and you know what? It's Kiffy. I um I've gamed with Mike a couple of times over the years, and um, he and I both like playing dwarves, and that is yeah. He could do absolutely nothing for me, and I'd still lean towards the dwarf. But Kiffy is making those hard choices and getting everything right. I think when it comes to saving our rotten asses, it really is.
Okay, I totally agree. Yeah, Kiffy is. Well, I always call him Kiffy the Quiet, but I mean, sometimes he just comes up with a good zinger or something, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah. All right. Very good. So, if you could change your character's race and class, what would it be?
I would be dwarven. I would be, as I was just talking, but I would be probably a druid. I think
Okay.
that would be the path.
Cool.
Um, that would have maybe taken some weight off of Kiffy, but also I just I don't know that I've played a druid before. I can't think of any instances. Quite often, I'm a dwarven warrior. I have a ever-present character that I always create, almost a um, what is it? Michael Moorcock had the in his books had the what did he call that? Something the warrior. It just this sort of evolution of the same soul going on to fight and always being there to be the hero of the day. And Hade is one that I had. I'm always playing a version of Hade in a world. That's for me what I've done for 25 years. I've had Hade in my head rocking away. So I would be I would try the druidic Hade.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, and now this is one that I have not asked anyone, and I
Good.
wanted to, yeah. And this one's a thought one that's definitely thought provoking. With all the things that have been going on recently, news wise and stuff, uh, how do you think, or what do you think about the state of role playing gaming today? I know
Um,
it's a big question.
yeah, it is, and it's one that role playing has been so cyclic, ups and downs, up and down. I think the corporate world stepping in as it has really inhibited the growth of the game. I don't know why all of these books are $50, $60. You want people to buy them. Why price them outside of a teenager's um, price range? Now, I know there are a lot of kids who live in really good families, but I know that for all the people that I've known have come from not the upper middle class. It's usually kind of a lower middle class because we got this escape from the drudgery. You need to be looking at who you really want to target, and I think they've all really gone beyond. I could see paying $30 now for some of these books, maybe even 40. But I remember getting them, 16.99, picking those up, and the hardbound to $20. Um, I understand that there's inflation, a lot of that, but at the same time, once you get them to buy into the key books, your player's handbook, the DM's guide, and the monster manual. Outside of that, maybe you can, you know, pad it a little. But those three should be within the range of kids to get. Now that we have the internet and we have this wonderful YouTube platform and other um, social media and all of that, boy, it's gotten exciting. There's so much content out there that I hope people can find their cup of tea, if you will. I just right now I think for D&D specifically, I think eventually it's going to bottom out, probably be sold off, and that'll save it. Somebody will buy that IP in a heartbeat, but it's going to have to fall a long way um, before Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast decide we've milked this cow for everything it's got.
All right.
The monetization also coming in, where it's you know a little fluff here, a little fluff here, is fine. But when you're talking about, with the new um, tabletops and all of that, getting your icons, I don't know. It's too much. I'm Android. A lot of people like Apple. They're nickels and dimes. I'm just not that guy.
Okay. Alrighty. So, how do you feel about how the campaign has progressed so far?
Is this where I go back and reference the fact that I'm the Chancellor of Bissell? Um, I I love it. It's good. It's a lot of stress on everyone. I mean, you look at the arc for in my mind where Timble was going to go. Hi, that's nowhere near this. No way did I ever think of this. He went from my intent was to become a tinkerer and start making stuff out of my pigments for my painting to where I could create glyphs, different things to maybe, empower stuff. That was where I was looking to go. I was going to be kind of a positive influence. I'd even had that discussion with you about how I wanted non-lethal kind of toys, and I got the bolas. I'm not using bolas on a dragon. So, I mean, at this point, I did not see him becoming a poisoner and having poison daggers and playing the poison game. Um, yeah, but it's one of those things that it's kind of representative of life. Even you think you're going one way and life points you in another. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not where I expected to be.
Okay. Oh, good. Alrighty.
It's
Well, I
fun.
mean, that's the
It's
thing of
fun.
the story changes, and that's why I've told everyone before, and the other one in the other is that you all kind of. I mean, I throw out new things to you to kind of to elicit a response to see where
Mm-hmm.
you go with it. So and then that was also another thing that's the beautiful thing about this campaign is it's not a railroad. There's it's more like it's like a scatter plot sort of thing, like a spider web. And so it's a little different than just like reading from a module, where everything
Oh,
just seems very there's no there's really, I mean, there is rhyme and reason. There is something going on behind the story, but you all
mm-hmm.
have no clue. And but then the things you all do change the story,
Oh, we changed
which
this world without a doubt.
which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this I have ran this adventure before back in 2010, 2011, 2012, and you all have changed it so dramatically from the original players that
And we just go
it's
different places. And part of that's that military kind of mindset that we were all taught. We think about things in a certain order and kind of prioritize, and it makes it really interesting. I'd like to see the other. It would be fun to be able to view the other campaign and be that fly on the wall, watching what they're doing, and then seeing what we did, and see how if they were in some of our circumstance. But I don't think anyone had Ed.
no, 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 no.
No, no, and he's magnanimous and just changes things, and it makes it interesting. He does make it interesting. That's why I like gaming with him. It's fun to be his supporting cast, if you will.
It's good. Alrighty. So, at the conclusion of Princess of Celene, which is very far down the road, would you consider signing on for another campaign if I was DMing it?
What do you think the answer is there, Brian? We love this thing. Yes, I'd be there.
Okay, of course. I kind of
Bells and
figured you
whistles.
would.
Yeah, it's been fun because I like the ability that you let us get kind of tangential thinking going, and we run out here. But you are able to slowly, I think, align us a little. And I don't know, it's been fun. It has been fun thinking things through. I mean, I think about some of the stupid shit I've done as Timble, but I think he's the one that would do that. I mean, I was just certain that that was acid and that,
In the
and
vial.
I, yeah, but I'm like, he's looking at it, and the last thing that Raven said, and it's just like there was this little opening. Maybe it's something to help me because I don't see how acid's going to get me out of this cage. Look how thick those bars are, and that's why I'm like, it's going to be bad, but he would do it.
Yeah. Still.
You know, and
Yeah.
you know where it's going, but hey, and it's just like being picked up by Kellex, put onto the Griffin, and thrown at a dragon, kind of. Yeah, this can only end badly, but what the hell? You only live once, and they'll sing my name forever, kind of thing. And
That's right.
well, we got out of it.
That's good.
Some of us in better shape than others, but we got out of it.
Well, that's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So, and this is the last question I have, and I know
Okay.
this is the one that people kind of like. It's kind of cringy, and I'm almost kind of wondering. It's like, do I really want to ask this question? But as far as Timble goes, is there some party member that is your least favorite? Not the player, the
Yeah,
character.
oh, I like everyone. I know that um, I mess with Grinna, but I like Grinna. So I like Kiffy. Kiffy, puts a smile on my face. Um, Felix and I have had some good fights working with each other. Um, Perhaps Mr. Alphabet is the where I would go with that because he takes toys that I might find interesting. But
Okay.
I'm not that kind of person to take them. Though I could go rummage through his stuff and take it all if I wanted, and he would never know.
True.
Um, Tomas, he's fun to mess with, and I do like him. I think I like him. Do I? I don't know. Well, he's there, but yeah, I would say that Yarn is probably the one that I have the least rapport with personally as Timble. I think that would be the one, but it's a big stretch. He kind of likes everyone. We got stuck into this. At the beginning it was very different, and then now we've got too much shared experience to really not like anyone because we know we can lean on each other.
Right. That's good. That's actually a great answer. That's really good. All right. So, well, Glenn, thanks again
Oh,
for dropping by
you
this
do it.
evening and chatting. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or I mean, kind of an open floor for you?
Yeah. Oh, opening up there. I'm kind of chatty, but no, I don't know. I think everything's been going really well with this. We have had real life issues pop in. Some of that stuff, I have to say, for myself, thanking you guys for being there because even when I had the heart surgery and everything, then you come back and there are things you're looking forward to, and those are the things that are the carrot that are out there that keep you going. I mean, it's just that simple. If life was boring, life expectancy would be so much lower. But it's not. Life throws you a lot of different tricks, and you just got to get through it. And you guys helped me get through quite a few things. More to come, apparently, but we're good. I did talk to my oncologist today, and I don't have to see him anymore. That's a very good positive.
That's wonderful. That's great news.
Yeah, I was pretty happy, especially after having the recent surgeries and the looking at stuff, and yeah, everything looks good. The stuff that they were concerned with is benign, and told me to get the hell out. Don't bother him anymore.
Okay. Hey, that is wonderful news. That is great stuff. Yeah, it seems that especially us the gamers who are Gen X gamers and things like that, we gotta kind of watch ourselves and make sure that we're doing
Just
all of our
haven't been
stuff.
drinking enough bourbon.
Yeah.
That's all. I just haven't been in the bourbon much. I got to do more.
That might be what I need. That's probably what I probably need to invest in. Alrighty. So, folks at home, thank you all very much for dropping by this evening and watching us. I am Brian, and this is Glenn, and we hope you all have a great evening. Make sure to check out our channel. You can go to YouTube and check out the Mystic Syndicate. You'll see that there is Mystic Syndicate and the Mystic Syndicate. Look for the Mystic Syndicate. That's us. Mystic Syndicate is I believe it's a band. I've
No,
never heard any of their stuff, but I want to check them out. Every time I go on, it's like, oh, but I'm busy. I'm working on something. I
it is
really,
to get stuck into everything. I always just put in the Mystic Syndicate D&D
yep,
every
yeah,
time.
yeah. You'll find us there. You can also check us out on our podcast. You can go to iTunes and type in the Mystic Syndicate, and you can check out. Right now, I think we have 15 episodes up.
Mm,
I'm still trying to work out the audio to make sure that everybody sounds
for
about the
balance.
same. Usually I sound too loud, everybody else sounds too low. I'm playing with my digital audio to try to make this better. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to hopefully move my microphone to a different location on my desk. Maybe it'll help. I don't know. We'll
Interesting.
see. So,
I'll get
alrighty. Well, everybody have a good night, and we'll chat with you later.
there. Later, dude.